as well. I'm recording so I can just cut any of the video I'm saying now. Penis balls, cunt, fuck.
Oh, the masters of editing.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol. I don't know the rest. Oh, what's happening?
Do, la, ti? Is that the next one?
Oh, let's get into fishing.
Oh.
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 I reckon this is going to be...
One thing you might have to say is when you say, we've got EuroFishing Simulator or whatever, just make sure you say, buy Dovetail Games. Because I think you have to actually say the name of people who make it.
So it's just EuroFishing, isn't it?
It's just EuroFish. Yeah. EuroFishing by Dovetail Games. So I'm on the character select screen, but I'm actually go into it. So if you select a character and then go on to where it says Euro Dovetail Games, and it says press space, I think this would be a good place to start. Yeah,
I've left it there.
Okay, because it got all the things. So ready? Ready?
Wait,
3.
Wait.
Oh. I said to Sean earlier, this is actually quite scary. I think I said to him, once we get like 2 or 3 under our belt, we'll be rolling through it. Like,
yeah, I'm glad you're on the same page. I was going to say something, but I thought, is it a bit?
Yeah, no, I'm fucking petrified, mate. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm quaking in my boots, bro.
But like Sean said, whatever we do here isn't gonna go live. It's not like we're streaming.
No, and it can be fixed. It can be tweaked.
We can scrap all this and try again tomorrow. If we go right, this is a first run. There's probably going to be mistakes. There's no doubt about it. But what I was going to try and do is what I was actually going before. Do you want me to set a timer, or you set a timer on your phone, and be like, set it for 20 minutes?
That's actually a really good point.
Because then we don't ramble on. The next thing you know, we've been playing Fishing Simulator for like 3 hours and like shit. Because you can't cut it then because we'll be talking about stuff.
Okay.
So if your phone was like, because my phone's actually dead, but if you set your phone for like 20 minutes, and this is our first Let's Play episode, and then once your phone goes off, you can just be like, once it gets to a point, you'll be like, well, this is where we're going to have to cut it for this video, and blah, 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 blah.
I'll just go, right, thanks for watching.
So you got to go. Well, it's got right. Bye, bye, guys. We've run out of time today. We'll pick this up next week. Join us next week for the next, or like say what you're going to do next week. Say we're going to continue. That we've run out of time. We're going to next week. We'll continue on with the tutorials. Blah blah blah.
Or weekly. There's only 52 weeks in a year.
Well, yeah, it was only next week. That's what I say. Just join us next time. Next time, because that leaves us open to if we wanted to release 2 in 1 week, we can.
You can.
So just to the end of it, say for instance your phone goes off, and we could, if we're near the end of the tutorial or whatever we're doing, because when we go fishing, it's actually an hour long. The tournament's normally an hour long, so you'd have to break that up into 20 minutes, or we do an hour, whatever, however we want to do it.
Right. I reckon I set the timer. I agree with that. When we start, I will set the timer as I'm talking, and we play through. When the timer runs out, I'll say something which will make you know that I'm trying to stop it.
Bananas!
Because we can't cut audio yet, we don't know that. We're just like, bananas! We're like, well, these guys are fucking weird.
Tourette's but with fruit. Bananas! Apples! Grapes!
So I need to... God, my brain is off at the moment. Yeah, and then when I finish it, we can just carry on playing, but we'll start a new recording. Because we could do more than 1 episode tonight, I'm sure.
Yeah, you just stop the recording.
Stop the recording, then do it again.
Start again, but go back to this screen.
Yeah.
Which is why I said in the no, when we do the hour, say for instance the tournament for an hour, we can be like, that's all for this week. Join us again next time, when we're going to continue on our tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And then like we can stop the stream, start the stream straight away again, and be like, welcome back to our tournament on EuroFishing Simulator, whatever. We're joining down, blah blah blah. We're carrying on and blah blah, and you just carry on then.
Yep.
It just rolls on. You don't have to go back to this screen all the time.
Yep.
But with the tutorials, because what I can do is I'll discuss what we're going to do for the tutorials.
Yep.
So I reckon we'll get the basics and how to do fish on this one.
Okay.
I reckon
So
we'll do that.
for the start, what is our script for the start? For the first bit, what is the part of the script? Let's just get that in our heads now, and then we can crack on.
Well, I think you need to come up with some way to introduce it. So you know, like, guys,
It's
you know,
going to be a
whatever.
let's play, is it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, welcome to our let's play EuroFishing Simulator by Dovetail Games. I'm whatever you're going to call yourself. And
I'm here with.
And I'm here with Martin. I'll be like, hiya. And then you'll be like, and then you can just run off. You can be like, well, you know, I'm new to this game. You know, or you can introduce me as in Martin's played, you know, 20 hours of EuroFishing fishing. He's also a keen angler, blah blah blah. And then I can roll off from what we're going to be doing.
I've got it.
Right. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
No, I fucked it. I was going to go hi everyone, but there's no one there at the moment.
Hey, just do it. Just do hi everyone. Let's go. Ready?
Okay.
Right. 3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, welcome to our Let's Play EuroFishing by Dovetail Games. I'm here with Martin, aka Weeman, and myself, General Dan, also known as Dan. And we're going to crack on with this. I haven't played any of it at all, but Martin's got a bit of experience, so I'm sure he can help me out along the way.
Yeah, so Dovetail Games have released Fishing Simulator, which more focuses on coarse fishing, which in terms of fishing games is very rare. Most of the time it's lure fishing for bass, and as much as I enjoy that, it does get boring because there's only so much bass I can catch if I get bored. So I think today what we're going to be doing is basically we're just going to go run through the academy. First of all, I'm going to talk through the basics and what you do, setting up your pitch, moving around, so on and so forth, and then what you do if you've got a fish on.
That's better.
Because a lot of people are finding on the forums and stuff that these academies are not actually that helpful. They tell you what to do, but they're not really helpful, and you'll probably see why as we go through it.
Well, it's going to help us discover everything you need to know about how to become a master angler in the academy. I'm ready for this. We go in the academy?
Yeah, go straight into the academy and just load the basics up. Just go straight into the basics and just go.
Oh, that's one long rod. Right, so just click on basics.
Yep, go on the basics.
Fantastic.
So, EuroFishing, like I said, is more catered for carp and coarse fishing. There is catfish and bream.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you can see, the graphics are
Welcome
brilliant.
to the Dovetail Games Fishing Academy.
It is probably one of the best fishing games I've ever seen in my life, to be perfectly honest. They've worked so well, and they're just releasing fixes, and they're releasing lakes.
To learn the key skills you'll need to successfully catch fish,
so,
no matter where you're fishing.
We go through the basics
first
here.
Lesson, I'm going to take you through the basics
So
of
this
Dovetail
is more on like how you set up your pitch, and then what you do when you get first off a lake.
So perfect start of an FPS where you have to look up and down, left and right.
Yeah, basically, it tells you how to walk around and basically learn when you were 5. Yeah, so you've got a lake. You've got 5 lakes. Dovetail Games has 5 lakes, and you can walk around them. And the good thing about it is, if you don't want to set up at a peg, you don't have to.
And get used to the controls.
You can just walk around. You can just throw your rod in from a bank. You can just do whatever you want to try and catch fish.
I like this. I like the lens flare. That's nice. Right,
so first of all, moving around is quite simple. It uses WSD, and you can look around by using the mouse. This is also controller compatible.
Like you got the hang of it, which is good. Otherwise, it would have been a long day.
So you can just use your Xbox controller because they have released it on Xbox as well.
Okay.
We've got a number of pegs on this lake for you to set up your gear. You should be able to spot a peg by looking for a sign like this. For now, let's claim this peg and get your gear ready for fishing.
So it says, when you get to a peg, that only you can fish from it.
When you claim a peg,
unless
it's
they
yours.
fix that in
No
the
one
patch
else
very
can fish
recently,
from the
that's a
same
lie.
peg as long as your gear is
As
in.
I found out
Bear
online.
in mind, though,
At
if
the
you walk
moment,
too far
there's
away and leave
anybody
your
can
peg
fish from
unattended,
anywhere. It's like a bit
we'll
of a
remove your
ramble.
equipment and allow
But
someone else to
people
claim it.
generally respect your peg. So once you get to your peg, just let me know. And
I'll claim a peg.
yep, so that's it. Yep. So now we do.
it's
You
time to
say,
talk
for
about
instance,
your
you're on the
fishing
peg that
tackle.
is now,
Your
but you might
rig
not
and
like this
bait are
peg. You
just
might
two
want to
of
go
the
around to the
tools
one
in
that's
your
in front
arsenal
of
to
you.
catch fish. Choosing the right rig and bait
But just for instance,
combination is
if you just hold
essential
E,
to catching carp.
it'll
you're
set up
holding
all
the
your
rod,
gear.
you
So
can
you've got
change
your
your
rod
rig and bait
rest. If
by
you just
simply
look around
opening your
your
inventory and
bag,
choosing
your
new
cut
ones.
unhooking mat.
We'll explain how different setups work in another
Normally
lesson.
you have a
For
tent
now,
and stuff.
just change your rig and bait to whatever you like the sound
But
of.
for this, they don't really set it up because it's not a big enough swim for it.
Okay. So we've got a, I'm not going to try and pronounce that. Hai Chow 9-foot fishing rod.
Yeah,
Reel,
so
line, rig, bait, yeah, the basics.
so this game is very technical in a way of you can't just throw anything out to get. You can't just throw. Say you've got a rig set up for gravel. You can't just throw it out, land in silt, and you're all good to go. You will struggle, and you might get a fish, but you'll probably lose it. Weed as well is something that is an issue, as it would be in real life. I wouldn't, as I'm fishing, I wouldn't like to sit in a bed of weed because one, the fish wouldn't even like it, and two, as soon as they get it, they'll tangle you up and you'll lose it.
So
Okay.
it's quite realistic, this, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's serious thought into it.
it's a game that I feel they've worked on for quite a while, and they are constantly updating it and keeping it alive basically. So just to go quickly over the rigs, you see if you hold over the hook on the right there, you can see that the bed type is gravel.
Yeah, I see.
So gravel, and then the one you've got on the moment on the left is silt. So as this wants you to switch, if you just switch over to the gravel, and then
Close your inventory when
and
you're
then
happy
once
with
it's
the
finished,
tackle
press I.
options you've chosen.
So another good thing about this is you can have different
you've claimed your peg
setups
and you've
for
got your
different
end
fish.
tackle set up. Next, I'm going to talk you through how you
But I'll talk
cast
about that in a
dovetail
later
games
video.
fishing. Start off by walking up.
So
Oh, this guy, he needs to be turned down.
the next thing is casting. Okay, this is casting on this game is very hard. Okay, now my if you're struggling with casting, my number one tip is to make sure you have smooth quality. So you're looking at 30 FPS, 60 FPS. You want a smooth quality because if you don't, you will struggle casting.
Okay,
so
I'm holding the line.
Yeah, so like I said, just hold line as it says, and you'll get you to pull back. So your mouse basically becomes the rod. Okay, so you pull it back as you would put it over your head, and then you just slide it forwards and let go at the right time.
Okay.
This is the action you'll need to master when
Oh god. I see what you mentioned about the casting the other day.
Yeah, so I did warn you. I did pre-warn you of this, and
How forcefully am I fishing this for? Let's just crack on. There we go.
You don't that tree over the other side of the lake. I don't want to go around and unhook you. All right, that's nothing I want to do.
I'm going to aim for it.
Well, if you can hit it, I'll give you a tenner.
It's not working, man.
It won't be yet, as he talked about like casting it out 15 meters.
Right.
Okay, so as you throw it over, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on a picture to help you to do it. As you can see, it shows you where to release it.
Okay.
And this will help people trying to learn.
Yeah, this will help me.
Okay, so but going back to the game, you see now all we got to do is just remember to release it just in front of you, just as it gets past your head.
Just to get past, remember this. Right, so release the cast at your line. Okay. That was atrocious. It went straight into the weeds. It's just in front of me. Okay.
You want some sort of push behind it. Oh, okay, that's cool.
He's just... Okay, so I've tried to cast it out, and now it just keeps telling me to cast it out, but...
Is it stuck?
It's a little bit stuck.
Okay, if you hold R, it will reset you. Or press R and hold R, whichever it is.
Gotcha. Right.
And that's basically a reset, which you might have to use that a couple of times during the tutorials because they're restricting what you're doing during the tutorials. I'm glad it's not this bad at fishing in real life.
Oh, at least I know the restart button. That's crucial.
Yeah, like restarting in, and like I said, because it's restricting you in what you're able to do, reeling in is not something it lets you to do just yet.
This is. I bet you've already cast it out. You've got it perfectly at 16 yards.
I hit the tree. So I've played EuroFishing. I've clocked over 20-30 hours on it so far.
I'm going to clock 20-30 hours just casting out.
That, to be honest, there is a basic in the settings. If you can't do this, it's total control casting. They call this. You've said it all at the moment. If you can't do it, then in the settings there is something called basic casting. So I don't want people to get put off because they can't cast. If you can't cast it, either practice, or get basic. Have you just done it?
I've just done it. Yeah. He's telling me about bed types now.
Yeah. So there's 3 different bed types. I'll just quickly go over them.
Mm-hmm.
Silt, gravel, and weed.
Yeah.
All right. Weed you don't want to be in.
Of course. Tangles.
Okay. There is rigs you can set up, which I'll talk about another day, which will let you fish weed, but it's just not worth it. Gravel is the best for carp. It's where they feed. But over my time, I found silt and gravel both being just as good as each other, to be honest. Okay.
Yeah.
So next one on the academy is when you get a fish.
No way.
Yeah, so we're going to go actually catch a fish now. So if you go on to the fish on. So they've just released a patch.
He's just disappeared.
Yeah, he does that. He's a magician. You'd think if he was a magician, he would just magic fish out of the water, but hey. So they released a patch where before the patch, you used to just be able to hold down the reel button and the fish would come in no matter what the fish would do. And that's very unrealistic. Honestly, like if in real life, if a fish wants to go, it will go, and if you try and reel in, it probably will break your reel, unless you've got a strong reel. So they've released it now, so when the fish is fighting, it's a lot harder to reel in, so the best thing to do is just let it run.
Let it run.
Yep, so at the beginning, just head up to your peg, just the one in front of you. Yeah, claim it as you would do normally by holding E. I'm quite proud of you, to be honest, Dan. You've got the casting quite well. It took me about 3 hours just to get past that first tutorial. It was ridiculous, but I did have a worse computer at the time.
I was worried about honestly the size of my mouse mat. I thought it was maybe a bit small.
My mouse mat's huge. I have a huge casting area.
I tried to use my desk, but the wood doesn't like it.
I had a quick funny story here. When I was learning it first time, I was getting really angry. I thought maybe I'm not casting hard enough, so I'm going faster and faster on my mouse mat. Next thing you know, I do it and let go of the mouse, and it flew across the room, and nearly knocked over those bottles. So if you're doing this, you don't need to throw it across the room. Okay.
You got a wireless mouse?
No, it's wired, but it went bloody.
Right.
But it's a Razer mouse, so it's the cable's quite long.
Yeah, so it won't save it.
Right. Anyway, back to the fishing because I don't want to embarrass myself too much.
Over the weed bed, trees, and this above it.
Yeah, so as I said, you can fish weed, and this is called a chod rig. Chod rig. Yeah. So what it basically is a rig that makes. It's more for floating, like having pop-up boilies on, and it basically sits up off the bottom. So it generally sits above the weed. Okay, so if you press I to get in your inventory,
yeah, done that.
Then select your weed, your hook to the weed.
I've got my chod.
So now you got a cast. Now, I personally think the position that they put you in here is ridiculous because of this giant bloody tree.
What is this? So if I change the difficulty to expert?
Well,
Without knowing.
you'd think so. Like they think you've casted once, you can cast a million times perfectly.
Put
So
that
you-
tree there.
You might get caught up quite a bit on this tree, as I did. This is
Right.
where R becomes quite handy. So
I'm ready.
just try and cast out, and we'll see how many times it takes you to do it. And I'm going to do it at the same time.
1.
Do you get it out?
Yeah.
Well played.
Bang on.
Yep, I've
It's
got
going
it
to
out.
get technical with me, I'm going to stop listening now.
So, the drag system. As in real life, reels have drag. It's basically a resistance put onto the spool of the reel, which makes the line harder or easier to come off.
Okay.
Okay? So, if you have the drag system too high, as it's saying, the fish won't. It'd be basically like a solid line.
Yeah.
You might as well use rope to catch the fish.
Yeah.
Okay, and if it's too loose, the fish will stream. It'll stream, and you won't be able to do anything about it. So, you adjust this by just doing the mouse wheel. Just roll out the mouse wheel, roll down the mouse wheel.
Yeah.
But I personally think to start off with, while you're catching relatively small to mid-range sized fish, you should have it on 30.
So, I've got it on 89 at the moment, because it's asked me to.
Yeah, that's bad.
What for this
You
current
don't-
situation?
He'll tell you to change it down the
Oh,
second.
that's fine. I thought you were just trying to, you know,
Nine,
trick me.
90 is for big fish, and I'm talking about £100 catfish here. You know, I'm talking about a catfish that would want to eat you whole.
Yeah, I've seen some big catfish caught on a tangent. They are huge.
And hopefully we'll see a fish today, and you'll see the beauty.
It does feel good.
So one quick thing is, like he says on the tutorial, you need to watch the tension.
Mhm.
Okay. So it's the 2 exclamation marks around your drag. Red is too tight, and blue is too loose. If it's too loose, just try reeling in more, or pulling or fighting it a bit more.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it's too high, if it's too tight, try just letting go of your reel for a second, see if it drops down. If it doesn't drop down, reduce your drag.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'm going to go for this.
Yep. So you should get a fish on. So when you get a fish on, you need to start reeling by the slack, okay? So your rod tip bends a little bit,
Yeah.
and then you want to pull up to the right, okay? But when you pull up, you want to stop reeling, okay? And you want to fight the fish in. So you see, as you pull up, the tension will go up because you're pulling the line.
Yeah, I've got you. I see the tension, yeah.
As you've done in real life, as you pull back and then you reel in the slack, yeah?
Ah.
Okay, and then as soon as that fish will, the fish will get tired, and you just net it by pressing E. There we go.
He's got tired.
Yeah. So, a general gist as well. The closer the fish, the more chance of you getting increased drag by just leaving it. Because if it pulls, it's got less flexibility in the wire and the cable. I can't even think of it. The line.
Well, he's right in front of me. He keeps telling me to pull the rod back, and I am, but
Yeah, it'll just roll off. This is what I'm saying. It just rolls off. So just press E, and then you should.
it's not asking me to press E.
You will do eventually.
Honestly, I've got it right by the fence. It's doing nothing.
Is he still talking to you?
No, he's not saying a word.
Try pulling the rod back a little bit. He might have got stuck in his routine.
Nah.
See the tension on the rod?
Oh,
Now move the rod forward and reel in the slack line.
I've gone ahead of him.
Now, when there's too little tension
Oh, I see. This is the problem. See, this is what a lot of people's been problem with. They find it like they're actually really good at it, and he's just like now cast out, and you've got a fish on. You're like, hang on a minute,
Oh,
something's gone wrong here.
You can move the rod
But I hope like the fish on this game look tremendous.
Fucking sleep. Okay, so he's chatting. I pulled it in. Is he going to say any more?
He might do.
I'm going to sit here and just throw the fish around.
So
I'm ready to net the fish, whoever you are.
the fish, like I said, the fish on this game are gorgeous.
I can't wait. I can't even see it though. It'd be nice if I could.
You will do. You
Here
will
we
do.
go.
Don't worry.
It's time
Oh.
to fish. Start off by picking up the net.
Oh, I've got the net. The net's gone through the fence.
Yeah, that's something that happens.
Oh, look at that. My first fish.
So yeah, that's your first fish.
This
It's
is gorgeous.
like this game requires a lot of practice. And if you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments below, and I'll answer them in our next video. And so I think we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah,
for the first two. Next time we'll run through stalking, baiting, and putting multiple rods. We'll try and do all three just to get the tutorial out of the way.
Yeah, definitely. We also have to
Alright.
bear in mind my IRL fishing knowledge is what, nil?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nil. This is completely new to me. But yeah, this is great. Got my first fish. I'm happy.
So yeah, like I said, drop us a comment or a like, and if you like it so much, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.
Keep up, boys.
That wasn't too bad.
I'm happy with that. Well, I can't seem to bring up anything. I can't bring up my windows or nothing.
I've recorded it.
Okay, how do you bring up windows? It's not working. It's just turning the sound off.
Alt tab.
Genius.